Hello and welcome to Marriage Mastery. Reimagine, revive, and reignite your marriage. And I'm going to share my screen and then I will introduce myself. But let me get this up first because I have a presentation I want to share with you. And and then I've got a lot of notes here. So just so you know, I will be referring to my notes and I'm going to make this, full screen now. So again, welcome to Marriage Mastery, reimagine, revive, and reignite the passion in your marriage. And I'm going to share 3 steps with you today to bring passion and connection back to your marriage. So I want to make an impact on women and families, and I want to help families stay together. So if you want to see a change in your relationship and keep your family together, review these ideas that I'm going to share with you and see if you are up for being an instigator of change. That's what this is about. So welcome and thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm Lisa Neller and I am a marriage and relationship coach. And my passion is to help people improve their relationships so they can have their happily ever after. And the quality of our relationships matter. And I should say matters. The quality matters and affects our mental and physical health. It's important stuff, and I'm really glad that you're here to listen. So hopefully you'll take away some helpful ideas. So the purpose for this presentation is to provide you with tools and ideas for taking charge and creating positive change in your relationship. This session is for you if you are feeling distant in your relationship, if you're starting to feel like roommates, maybe the kids are gone and your spouse is more of a stranger now than a lover or a friend, or you may be feeling okay in your marriage, but in your relationship, but know that it could be so much better. So I want to talk about some of the benefits of staying together. And these would include more stability in your life and better health. Research has shown that when you stay together as a couple, that you both have better healthy outcomes. And of course, there's less stress. And then I like to call it modeling, but like what I mean by modeling is showing your kids how to work through a marriage. And my kids know that my marriage is not perfect, and they've seen us work at this marriage. So they have some tips and ideas on how they can do the same thing. Looking at your financial health, I mean, it could be way better if you stay together. And if you break up, it could be way worse. And then let's look at the long-term picture. So the grass isn't necessarily greener on the other side. Sometimes we go through a divorce and we find out, gee, maybe I could have done some things differently, or maybe if we had worked a little bit harder, it could have worked out. And also, you want to think ahead into the future, like, do you want to be grandparenting together and that kind of thing? Now, I always say leave if you have to. It's okay to leave if you're feeling abused, not feeling abused, but if you are being abused. If you, like, say, are dealing with depression, mental health issues, and alcoholism, for example, there are some reasons that you leave for your own mental and physical health. So I totally get that and support that. This is just in case you want to stay together and work at this. So there are 3 outcomes to this presentation. The first one is empowerment. Not that I want to empower you because you already have the power within you to make change, but to remind you of your power so that you can empower yourself to take what I call inspired action. Women have more power than we know, so it's important to get connected to our identity and remember what is within our ability to create. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is readiness, to help you prepare to make some changes that will benefit you in the short term, midterm, and long term. So you need to be ready and willing to do some things differently, even if your partner isn't as receptive as you'd like. So much of this is up to you. So I want you to ready yourself to do some difficult things, challenging things, let's say. And we can do hard things, right? So, and then I want to offer you encouragement and support. So at the end of this presentation, I will make an offer. I'm excited to share my resources and how you can benefit from my help. All right, so here's the map. We're going to look at reimagining our relationship, which is shifting your perspective and looking at all the possibilities. And the second thing we're going to look at is reviving your marriage. So that is restoring emotional and physical connection. And then we'll look at also reigniting the passion in your relationship. So that's bringing desire and passion back into your relationship. A little bit about me. Okay, so this is my family. That's my husband on the left of 38 years. By the way, we dated 8 years before that, and we're going on 39 years this year. So it's a long time. Me, my son Michael, his girlfriend Emily, they've been together almost 10 years, not married yet. My daughter Lauren and her husband Chris, and they've been married for a few years and they have 2 children, and they're very happy. All right. So when I talk, oh, sorry, I wanted to go back. I wanted to share a little bit more about me. Again, I'm a marriage and relationship coach for women, primarily in midlife, and I can help other women as well, younger women and older women. And I can help men too, but primarily I'm looking at coaching women. And originally, I am from Chicago. I moved to Arizona in 1983, so that's a long time ago. It's now 2025. I was actually 25 when I moved here. I have a bachelor's degree in speech communications and public relations from Southern Illinois University. And my daughter is a therapist, a trauma therapist, and marriage counselor. So we have a few things in common. We both love studying the mind and how relationships work and communication and all that kind of stuff. We have a lot of conversations around that. She's also a mommy, which she made me a grandmother twice, which is great. And then my son Michael works in IT in Chicago, and he's also an improv and sketch comedy artist. He's very funny, and we love being around him. I've also been a yoga teacher since 2003, and I was a university enrollment counselor at Grand Canyon University for 6 years. And it was there that I got my graduate certificate of completion in life coaching. And then I also earned a certification I'm a certified insight coach from the Insight Coaching Academy. So I earned that certification in 2020. Also have a certificate of applied neuroscience from the Neuroscience School, and I am a lifelong learner in personal development and psychology. So I've been involved in personal development for 30 years at least. I want to talk about why passion and connection fade over time, and I'm just going to list some reasons here. There are a lot of reasons. Stress in life and work, routines and ruts that we get into, habits. A lot of times we get into bad habits, communication habits, name calling, things like that. Resentment, fighting, blaming, again, name calling, just growing apart, and lack of time investment in the relationship. And there's other things too, like mental health issues get in the way, alcoholism can get in the way, depression, things like that. So there's a lot of things that make us struggle in marriage, but I just want to say that it's not insurmountable. Like everything's figure outable. And as long as 2 people are willing to be open and to reconnect emotionally, it's totally possible to have a great marriage. How does love evolve in a long-term relationship? Well, there's the honeymoon phase. Those first 2 years are really fun. And then 2 to 5 years is the reality check. Like, we're pretty different. We think differently. We might even have different values. Like sometimes right within that time period, kids come along and the mom focuses totally on the kids or not. Sometimes the dad's right in there with her, and comfort zone is 5 to 15 years. This is kind of where you're like, yeah, I really getting to know this person. There's a crossroads at 15 years. This is kind of like, are we happy and we're going to stay together, or is this not working and we're not going to stay together? But then after that, I like to say there's reimagined love in midlife and beyond. So it is a journey and it's never like always up here. I mean, if it is, that would be extremely rare. So if you're having problems in your marriage, don't feel like you're the Lone Ranger. There's a bunch of us that have had problems. But what I want you to do is look at possibilities. So we're going to talk about reimagining your life through your mind, through your imagination. And I want you to become what I call a possibilitarian. A possibilitarian is someone who sees the potential and possibility available and they look for it. And possibilitarians open their minds to a greater vision. So, what is possible actually in our relationships? And I just want to say so much. There's always more. And sometimes we think we're stuck, but we just maybe need some tools or advice or help or information or knowledge that would help us move beyond where we're at right now. Use your imagination. Think about what is it that I would really like to have in my relationship? Because our thoughts create. And when we direct and manage our own thoughts, which is a thing and it is a possibility, then we're more likely to have outcomes that we want and we desire. And so I want to just say that you too can enjoy peace and harmony and fun and laughter and physical and emotional connection, great sex and future planning and safety. I like to add safety in there. And then just looking at the power of perspective. So Wayne Dyer says, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. And this is so true. And I want to talk about a concept of being. And so small shifts in thinking actually can transform how you see your partner. So some knowledge in psychology, emotion, and behavior can help. And thinking is huge in making these shifts. For example, you might look at some of the emotions that you experience in your relationship and ask yourself, what are my thoughts leading to this emotion? And where is this emotion coming from? One of the ways that we can begin to make shifts in our thinking is to know that we have choices in the way we think and behave. And there is this thing called the art of being, and it's a conscious decision to choose words and language that actually describe who we are being. And believe it or not, you also create your partner with your thinking and your behavior. So who are we being and how are we being that will affect our person? And there are three distinctions of being. One is that we're always being. In other words, we're always thinking, being, acting. And number two is we can observe our being. We can observe, we can watch who we're being. And then number three is that we can shift our being. We can change. We can change on a dime if we want to. Just change our thought and change our behavior. So we can take this knowledge of who we are being and we can create an experience in our marriage that starts with our mind, thought, and language and is manifested through thinking and acting differently. So we're going to talk about creating a marriage document in a little while as a way to think about being and to develop habits, language habits that change the outcome of your relationship. So I want to invite you to do a reimagining exercise. And the first exercise is, what is one thing that you once loved about your partner but haven't appreciated lately? So what's one thing you once loved about your partner but haven't appreciated lately? So I'm going to encourage you to write that down. The second part of this exercise is just to list 3 needs that you have that you would like to have met. And those needs might be physical connection, emotional connection, time with your partner, sex with your partner, more conversations and communication, anything that you can think of that you need, list those down. And then the third prompt here is to look ahead, like envision your life 10 years from now and think about your needs being fulfilled. Think about you living a happy life and living with your spouse, if this is in fact what you want, and then go 20 years out. So look ahead, envision your future 10, 20 years from now. Maybe write some notes about what you would like life to look like at that point, if you're planning to work on staying with your spouse. Okay, so I'm going to take a sip of water. That was the reimagining part of this presentation. And now we're going to look at reviving, restoring emotional and physical connection, bringing it back to life. So I want to talk about why emotional connection comes before intimacy. So the number one mistake that couples make when trying to build, when trying to work things out in their relationship is that they try to fix their relationship instead of rebuilding connection. Okay, so fixing versus rebuilding. Okay. So what happens is, I'm going to go backwards, sorry. We focus on fixing the relationship instead of rebuilding emotional safety. And what this might look like is that we try to force connection before emotional safety is reestablished. We jump straight to fixing problems instead of addressing emotional disconnection. We expect big, drastic, or dramatic changes overnight instead of small, consistent efforts. And over communicating issues instead of creating moments of joy, fun, and ease together. And why does this backfire? Well, when one or both partners feel emotionally unsafe, like they feel unheard, they feel criticized or distant, no amount of date nights, forced conversations, or grand gestures will create lasting connection. Pushing for intimacy or deeper talks too soon can make your partner withdraw further. The focus becomes fixing the problems rather than building a new foundation of trust and warmth. All right, so we're going to talk about a better approach. So instead of trying to fix the marriage, focus on creating positive experiences that naturally bring back warmth and closeness. So we're going to talk about rebuilding emotional safety first. So start with small, non-pressured interactions, like a kind smile or a compliment or a shared laugh. Give space for positive moments before deep conversations. And then secondly, prioritize positive interactions. So increase these micro moments of connection, maybe a hug, a check-in, small surprises. One thing I did for my husband once was I just put a little to-go cup of almonds in his car with a little sticky note, because I know he loves almonds and he gets hungry during the day. So oftentimes, you're in your car and it's the middle of the day and you're driving around and you're like, I'm hungry. So anyway, I put that in his car and he really appreciated that. Focus on enjoying each other before tackling deeper issues, and then let connection lead to conversation. So once the warmth returns, then deeper conversations feel more natural and productive. And then here are some simple daily habits for connection. One is try a 10-second hug. I like to go for the 6-second kiss. Sometimes I'll say to my husband, it's time for a 6-second kiss. And he's like, okay. So you could try that. Um, yeah, or maybe try a compliment a day. Or if that feels like too much, try a couple of compliments a week. I mean, just a small, genuine, authentic compliment. Like, you look great today. I love the way you look in your suit or your shirt or whatever. And then do something nice. Like I said, the almond thing was something nice that I did. You could take out the garbage for your husband or your spouse if he or she normally does that. Okay. What you think of your partner makes a difference in reviving your marriage. The way you see him or her, look at him, describe him, and feel about him is what matters in rebuilding and bringing back to life the respect and consideration that you have for him. And it starts with you. So, language creates, and we're going to talk about creating a marriage document that has to do with language. And then we're going to do an appreciation ritual. So, we'll start with the marriage document. And this is a document that you can create that has a list of things, thoughts about your spouse and yourself. So it's a way to really identify who you want to be in marriage. So remember, I talked about being that we're always being, we can observe our being and we can shift our being. And the way we do that is we start by being intentional about who we want to be. And this is just the first line in my document. I am love. I lead with love. I am loving to my beloved. And I have several more. And my document looks like this. So I have about 20 to 25 statements that I have created on my document. And I'll just share a couple more with you. One is that I am unique and special, and my love sees that in me. He is unique and special, and I see that in him. I am joyful and fun with my husband. I am full of peace, and this peace seeps over to my sweet husband. My husband deserves to be respected, loved, admired, and adored. Okay, so I don't want to read you my whole document because as you create yours, I want it to be unique to you. So what I'm going to suggest you do is spend some time, take an evening this week and spend some time on your marriage document and decide, what do I want it to look like? And what is the language? What is the intention I'm going to put behind it? And speak the truth. You may be annoyed by your husband right now or your spouse, and it's okay to be annoyed sometimes, right? But then I want you to really look at the truth of who he or she is. All right. So that is my talk about the marriage document. So I want you to have fun with that. And then what I want you to do is read it regularly so that you become super familiar with it. All right. And then here's an appreciation ritual. So every day this week, find something you can be grateful for regarding your spouse. If you can't find something current, look for something in the past. Was he a good father? Did he do certain things that made you happy? Was he a great friend to you in times of need? Did he take out the garbage regularly? Was he the cook in the family? Like, what are some of the good things? And then write down those things that you appreciate and take 30 seconds to express your appreciation verbally to your spouse. All right. That's your exercise, or those are 2 exercises for the reviving emotional connection part of this. Now, we're going to talk about reigniting your relationship, bringing desire and passion back. So when the fire goes out, it needs to be rekindled, right? Like it doesn't start by itself. It needs to be lit. And so you're the one that's going to light it, right? Passion is more than just physical. And what I wanted to do is just discuss the role of energy, fun, and presence in your personality. So attraction, let's talk about energy real quick. Energy is the invisible magnet. Attraction is more about how you show up and who you're being than what you look like. Your vibe, your emotional state, and your energy communicate more than your words do. So if your energy is drained, bitter, or disengaged, connection naturally fades. And by the way, this happens in marriage a lot. It isn't just, sometimes it happens over and over again. So if your energy is open, warm, playful, and curious, most of the time you become magnetic again, regardless of your age, your size, or how long you've been together. And then here's a little energy shift tip for you. So before interacting with your spouse, take a breath and ask yourself, am I showing up as the woman I want to be in this marriage? So change your energy first and see what happens. And then fun is the forgotten flirtation. When was the last time you had fun with your spouse? Fun is the spark plug of connection. In long-term relationships, couples often stop playing together, and with that, the attraction dwindles. So fun creates shared positive emotion, which builds connection and reintroduces spontaneity. You likely fell in love while having fun, laughing, adventuring, and trying new things, right? So bringing back fun, even in small ways, reawakens your natural chemistry. So try this. Try a quick game, a dance in the kitchen, or go do something silly and lighthearted together. You don't have to plan a cruise, just laugh. Couples who play together stay together. Sometimes it's fun to watch a little comedy together. That really brings people, really connects people. And then presence is the key to deep connection. Presence is the secret ingredient to feeling seen, heard, and desired. When you're present, you're not distracted, defensive, or half listening. You're emotionally available, which is the foundation of emotional and physical intimacy. Presence is also how you receive your partner, the way you look at him, listen to him, and create space for him. So here's the way you can practice presence. Put down the phone, make eye contact, take a breath, and just be there, even for 30 seconds. When you are fully present, even silence can feel intimate. So one of the things my husband and I like to do to bring fun and presence into our marriage is to play cards. We play cards and listen to music. And sometimes we'll do that for a couple of hours in the evening. And that really reconnects us. And then flirtation and playfulness in long-term love includes maybe some inside jokes, small unexpected touches, and playful texts or winks. And I will tell you this, my husband is not a playful text or wink kind of person, but there's other stuff that we have going on between us. Definitely inside jokes, definitely small unexpected touches, and maybe I'll send him a playful text or something like that. Here's a 2-minute reconnect method. So when couples feel disconnected, they often assume that big changes are needed to fix their relationship. Remember, I said that was a big mistake. That was a number one mistake. But in reality, small intentional moments of connection can shift the energy instantly. And that's where the 2-minute reconnect method comes in. So this is a simple method to reset the energy between you quickly. So this is useful when you feel emotionally distant, but don't know how to break the ice, that there's tension or frustration, and you want to reset, and you've been stuck in routine and want a micro moment of connection, and you don't have time for a deep talk, but you still want to show some love, okay? So simply pause, shift, and connect using one of a few strategies. So you could do this silent 10-second hug. So hugs release oxytocin in the brain. This is a bonding hormone, and it instantly creates a sense of warmth and safety. So just walk up to your partner, wrap them up in a slow hug, a deep hug for 10 seconds. Take a deep breath together and relax into the hug. My husband and I do this all the time. There's no need for words. Just let the warmth shift your energy. And use it after a long day, first thing in the morning, before one of you goes to work, that kind of thing. You could also try the 30-second appreciation exchange. And this works because gratitude shifts the brain's focus from what's wrong to what's good, creating instant emotional closeness. So you want to face each other, take 30 seconds each to say one thing you appreciate about the other. You know, like, I love how hard you work for our family, or I appreciate how you made me coffee this morning. It really made my day. And even if things feel tense, focusing on one small positive thing shifts the energy immediately. You can use this anytime, but especially after small conflicts, during stressful days, or before bed. And then the 1-minute playful reset. All right. This works because laughter and playfulness help break tension and rekindle attraction. And they remind you why you fell in love in the first place. So do something unexpected and lighthearted. Give a silly high five and say, "Good job being my spouse today." Or do a random dance move in the kitchen. Play a 10-second staring contest, and the loser does something funny. Whisper a flirty inside joke that only they understand. The goal is to get both of you to smile, even for a second. So use this when things feel serious, stale, or heavy, and you want a quick energy shift. Research shows that small, consistent moments of connection build long-term intimacy more than grand gestures. So instead of waiting for a big talk, vacation, or major effort, a simple 2-minute moment can reset the energy and create warmth instantly. And 1 second. Okay. So we're about to wrap up here. Recap, I want to talk about the key takeaways here and what we talked about. We talked about reimagining and shifting your perspective on your relationship. So starting to think differently, looking at different possibilities, and focusing on what works. And then we talked about reviving, building connection habits. So work on being emotionally wealthy and take positive action towards staying connected by listening to understand, learn how to understand what it's like to be your partner, and bring your marriage back to life and make it the most important relationship in your world. And we did that, talked about doing that through language and maybe creating a marriage document and connecting in small little ways. And then we talked about reigniting your passion. So keeping your passion alive through just small micro moments. And what I want to share with you is that there is so much more to learn about your relationship. So talking about being emotionally healthy, creating from a place of identity and love, understanding all the things like how environment shapes us, how personality is formed, different attachment styles, emotional regulation, keys to a successful marriage, living with reality, self-care, level of consciousness, belief and thought, learning to channel emotions, building awareness, developing and practicing communication skills, and much more. And then there's the idea of self-care, communication skills, and conflict resolutions. So just your next steps now, if you want further support, and I can help you. So I'm going to offer a discovery call, which is not just a 20-minute thing. It's, I do a 60 to 90-minute discovery call to make sure that you and I are a good fit, or see if I can help you with something, make a decision as to whether or not you truly do need support. And yeah, we take our time and get to know each other. And I also have a midlife marriage check-in at lisanellercoaching.com/check-in. And you can find that online. And and get that. It's just a quick assessment. I also have 20 tips to spice up your marriage at lisanellercoaching.com/spice. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Midlife Marriage Mastery. And you can always contact me if you would like to schedule a consult with me. You can find a way to do that on my website. So you can go to lisanellercoaching.com/contact. And there's all kinds of ways to find me. I'm on all social media. So I want to thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself and your marriage and listening to this presentation. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to stop recording. Have a beautiful day.